Hey everybody, Bungsy here with another ultralight review on ultralight backpacking. I hope you're enjoying my little collection of shorts on cooking in the wilderness. So far, I've covered, sporks, my favorite piece of cooking gear, my fuel of choice, which are Esbit solid fuel tablets like this one, and my favorite stove setup, which is built around using Esbits. Now, as we talked about already, right or wrong, burn bans sometimes rule out the use of Esbits and pretty much lock you into using canister stove systems. So for those who prefer the more traditional fuel canister setup, we got you covered in this video, shall we? I've tried a few canister stove setups over the years, and the simple truth is that I've never tried one I truly disliked. They all work just fine. So what's my favorite? It's without question the Windmaster by Soto. I do have a link to it in my video description down below in case you're in the market. On my scale, the Soto Windmaster weighs 2.36 ounces. It's not the lightest, but it is very light. Simply going for the lightest option often isn't the best strategy, which is certainly the case with stoves, in my opinion. Now, the Windmaster has a couple compelling features. I'll walk you through them. First and foremost, it has a very unique head design. Take a look. It is a concave bowl design. Hopefully this comes across in the video. And number two, the stove is designed to position the stove head much closer to the base of your pot than with other stove setups. Look how little room there is between the stove head and the bottom of the pot. That's unique to this setup. So between the concave design and the flame's proximity to your pot base, it outperforms other canister stoves in wind big time. It's basically a built-in windscreen, which also means it heats quicker and uses less fuel along the way. So your canister will last longer with this stove than with others. Plus, I hate standalone windscreens. They are clumsy to store and keep in one piece. Also, if there's wind, the wind is going to mess with your windscreen as much as it's going to mess with your flame. The Windmaster solves this problem. It performs better and makes carrying a windscreen unnecessary. Now, while we're on the subject, windscreens with canister stoves are also not very safe, as the heat can be trapped and redirected downwards below and around the canister itself. This is really not a good idea, as they've been known to explode because of this heat buildup. You don't want to be around that. Another benefit of the Windmaster is that it has a very broad pot base. I don't think this feature gets enough attention. Take a look. There's only one thing worse than watching your dinner slip off your tiny stove and spill into the dirt. That is realizing you lost your dinner because you're a UL weenie who went with a slightly lighter stove with tiny arms to save 1 gram. Don't be that guy. The Windmaster has a nice broad base that makes pot tipping far less likely. Moving on, the Windmaster also has a built-in spark igniter. I still carry a Bic as a backup, but it's nice to have. It lights up quicker, easier, and safer than trying to use a lighter or match. It's also worth noting that the Windmaster comes with a standard as well as an extra large pot base. The smaller of the two is still plenty big for backpacking when using a small mug-like pot, while the larger one comes in handy, in my opinion, when car camping with a bigger pot or a frying pan. As a result, you'll get more use out of your Windmaster than some other mini setup if you ever go car camping. Again, I've included a link in my video description down below in case you want to take a look, a closer look. It retails for 70 bucks, by the way. Well, that's all the time I need. Be sure to catch the next short in my cooking series where I'll share my 2 favorite pots with you. First up is my 3-season pot and setup. After that, I'll show you my winter setup. In the meantime, please help me grow the show by hitting like and clicking on the Bungsy logo floating on the screen to subscribe. It helps me a ton. Thanks, and I'll catch you on my next ultralight review on ultralight backpacking.